This complex also had, talking about like why we had to rebrand it. The complex had not one, not two, not three, but 4 active drug dealers living on the complex. The SWAT team came out. We had police officers undercover as maintenance people, like walking around doing work orders, air quote, right, and stuff like that, casing out what was going on in the market. We bought the property at 80% occupancy. Within 3 months, it was down to 60%, and within 2 more months, it was down to 40%. Right? We changed what was there because it was not a well-run complex. Had a lot of people that were there just not paying their rent. They were squatting and all kinds of shenanigans going on.
Hey guys, my name is Matt Faircloth, and I've been a full-time real estate investor for 14 years. BiggerPockets is proud to present its first docu-series, Fair and Square, a look behind the scenes of owning an apartment building. This docu-series is about a 198-unit apartment building that we own in Fayetteville, North Carolina. You're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to see how we acquired the property, see how we raised the money for the property, and you're going to see the challenges that we had and what we did to get around those challenges to create success. You're going to learn a lot here, so check it out. This is Fair and Square.
All right, expect the unexpected. And this is a few spots. I mean, you guys, again, I'm not like the folks you see on Facebook or that are out there on the market that are just pounding their chest talking about how awesome they are buying apartment buildings and stuff like that. We got our teeth kicked in a few times. And so here's a few ways that we got tripped up and just things that showed up and how we worked around it. Here was the issue. Here was the solution. This will likely happen to you also unless you pay close attention to Matt Faircloth and do what I recommend you do, right?
The contractors about a challenge they're having because a lot of the cabinets that we've asked them to renovate, we're not actually replacing cabinets. So the plan is to put new doors on the cabinets and new faces on the drawers as well. And so what's happening is that worked for a lot of our units, but now we're down, since we're getting closer to the end of the renovation, that ended up being the cabinets that are left are a lot of times they're degraded. And so we can't screw new doors on, we can't affix those doors to the cabinets because they're like particle board and they're sort of falling apart. And so we just talked through some solutions as far as how do we get a newer looking cabinet on what we have, and the resolution that we came to is that we can't. And that's what we're hearing from our site manager and from our contractors down here. And so we have to listen to the team that's on the ground and make a change. And so for the units that are left, there's about a third of the units that we have left to do, they're saying are really beyond repair. So we've decided to spend the extra money, get some unfinished cabinets, and put new cabinet bottoms in just that one stretch there. So it'll probably cost us a few $100s to do, but it'll provide a quality cabinet that the counter then sits on and is really the right long-term solution for this unit.
The issue was, tenant had a fire, okay? Tenant comes home from work. She's working the night shift, okay? Goes and puts herself on a pot of whatever on the stove, okay? Works the night shift. Probably works day shift too. God bless her. Probably working 2 shifts to make it all work and stuff like that. Falls asleep on the couch, okay? Falls asleep on the couch while her dinner's cooking on the stove. The dinner keeps on cooking while she's sleeping, and the dinner burns up, and she wakes up to the sound of the smoke alarm going off, okay? She jumps up, doesn't put the fire out, the right thing to do, runs in her son's room, grabs her son out of his room, runs out of the property onto the street, calls the fire department from the street, okay? They come out, put the fire out, so we had a major fire in one of our units, okay? So that's a bad thing. That could have kicked my butt on insurance, but the tenant had a renter's insurance. So I went after them, right? You knucklehead tenant lit my unit on fire, right? So what they did, they rented her another unit in my complex because she wanted to live there because her mama lived there. So she moved to another unit. Okay. That's good. I'll take that. She moved to an upgraded unit, by the way. So she moves into an upgraded unit, and they pay me the money that it takes to renovate that apartment. Pretty good. Contractor cheats you. So we originally hired a contractor on the property that was, it's just hard to explain how this guy did this, but we were renovating units and replacing appliances with those schwanky, black finish ones, right? Well, what happened to the white ones? I don't know. Maybe they fell off a truck. Maybe they went away. I don't know. It turns out this guy was selling them, right? And he was also getting ahead of us and going into units we hadn't rented yet. And we're like, where's the appliances in these units? We started to see what was going on, and he was going like 10 to 15 steps ahead of us. And all of a sudden, magically, all these units that we were about to renovate in a month or two didn't have appliances. Where'd they go? He's selling them, We found out after we let him go, this scrapper comes by and he's like, you got any more appliances for me? I'm like, no, jerk off, get out of here.
The appliances for the deluxe units are something that a prior contractor we had that was doing some work here. We can't prove it. We can't prove a lot of these things, but what we suspect is this contractor was going into units, doing some cleanup in the apartments and selling the appliances off-site to another vendor, or using them on other job sites they were on, whatever it was. And we became aware of it and quickly cut ties with the contractor. Now they deny it, we can't prove it, so what are you gonna do? That's the first thing they were doing. The second thing they were doing was they had access to the site, they had keys to apartments. So this contractor had a local homeless guy living in one of the apartments, working for them, and was also living in the apartment, paying rent, okay, to the contractor, okay? The contractor also had introduced us to a few other vendors that were on site that were turning apartments and were doing some other work on the site. Unbeknownst to us, those vendors were being required to pay a commission to the contractor for the work that they were doing. So again, man, this just goes to show that, like, if you turn your back off of something in the contracting world and in just general construction, you will get robbed, and so I hate to be like that because I'm an optimist, and I hate to look at things that way, and I'm one of these, like, I love everybody. I really do. I see the good in almost everybody I meet, and that's served me well in my life, but it's also absolutely jacked me over in my life because this contractor I got tight with, I became friendly with, and at the end of the day, the contractor absolutely jacked us, and I didn't see it coming. Homeless guy living in a unit and working on the crew, that's just one of those, you can't make these kinds of, you just can't make that shit up. Like, that's one of those kinds of things. That's just insane. I don't think I could have done anything about that, but the missing appliances, I think that what we could have done is had better protocol with regards to what happened with appliances when they got taken out of units when they're getting renovated, right? Because you're renovating a unit, we're upgrading appliances as you go, and so what happens to the inventory when you pull it? And I should have perhaps rented a warehouse somewhere, or taking a small storage container and told the contractor, when you pull those appliances, put them here, right? To have better protocol, and looked at those appliances as inventory as we were pulling them out. So I think that would have been a better thing to do. It's just checks and balances as well, and don't trust anybody. I hate to say that because it's hard for me as a person to do, to just not trust anybody. But in some ways, I can still see the good in everybody, but I still have to have people around me that are better at holding contractors accountable than I am, because I just love them, just want to buddy with them and everything like that, and I think that it's good to have people like Justin that are, honestly, when Justin came on board was when a lot of things changed here, was when we uncovered a lot of issues that were going on, and also the current site manager, things went from here to here, with regards to integrity, with regards to uncovering things that were under the sheets and stuff like that. As soon as we found out what was going on, it was like, done, out, and we're considering repercussions and things like that, but we can't prove anything we suspected. But it's probably better to just cut ties and move on. So it just goes to show that in the world of construction, in the world of, maybe it's not just all in the apartments, but I think it's mostly construction, that you've got to really watch your back, because there are some characters that will gladly rob from you in this industry, and every time it happens, I'm still shocked.